Like I mentioned earlier, I have bought a 3/4 inch water pipe to be the supports that go through. Now, the thing about this is it's a little bit bigger than an inch, and I don't have any drill bits that are really close to that. So I'm just going to drill my holes out to an inch and then make them a little bit bigger on the spindle sander. So that works for me. To line them up properly so that the rods go straight through both jaws, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp both jaws together, and I'm going to bring it to the drill press, and I'm going to drill a 1/8 inch hole through the outside jaw into the fixed jaw, and that'll mark both pieces so that they line up perfectly. Then I'm going to go ahead and drill the 1-inch holes. When I got this, the question in my mind was, how am I going to fasten this to the outside jaw? It slides loosely on the inside fixed jaw, but on the outside it has to be firmly attached. So I thought I would get these pipe flanges and screw on there. Now, one of the things about this is, if I was to screw this on here, like so, and then put it on the inside, it'll be the way. But I could route out a pocket for these to sit in, but really that wouldn't make much sense. So what I thought about doing was letting them come right through and then cutting a bit of a rabbet around the hole so that the flange, so that this part of the flange could sit in and this would sit on the outside face. And that way I can get 4 strong screws in to hold it properly. Also, I could, since these are just rough castings, these are not precision parts at all. I can get shims behind these locations so that I'm perfectly 90 degrees coming out of the jaw. That's really important for this. That has to, these pipes, when they come out, be 90 degrees to the jaw. And these rough flanges won't do it on their own. You can see this one's rocking pretty bad. So that's what I'm going to do. Here's a word about these pipes. When I bought the pipe, it had a very thick coat of black paint on here. I stripped that off with lacquer thinner, and you would be surprised how smooth the pipe is underneath. It's got the welded seam here that's a little bit rough, but otherwise it's like glassy smooth. The paint that's on there is really too thick and too rough for this to slide properly back and forth. So you got to get that paint off whatever way you choose to do it. Okay, well I couldn't find the bearings for my rabbeting bit for the router, so I came up with a different method. This is my I'm just going to use the hole saw again to make the outside of this hole a little bit bigger, and I'm only going to be going about a 1/2 inch deep. That's the depth of that flange. What I'll do is just get that started, and then I'll take the template off. That's a pretty neat way of doing that. I covered on my website. So I'm deep enough now. All I got to do is chip this part out with a chisel. Okay, as it turns out, these pipes are not a whole lot bigger than 1 inch after all, and it didn't take a whole lot of sanding in the drill hole to get it to a perfect fit. This is the outside jaw. The pipe's going to go through and screw into the flange, and then that'll be bolted to the front. The inside jaw just has straight holes through, and I made those slightly oversized so that the pipe slides through a bit better. I'm hoping there's not going to be any racking with this. It really shouldn't be, because these flanges should really hold it well on the face, and that would be one of the primary benefits of using these flanges for that. Well, I changed my mind on how I'm going to do this. It occurs to me that the better way would be to use the jaws themselves to line this up. So what I've done is I've taken it inside here, and I've got it laid on my table here, and I drew a line back square to the edge here. I don't trust this edge has been cut, so I drew a square line back, and that'll square the back jaw to the front jaw. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these flanges to the front jaw and let them set overnight. And that way, tomorrow, I can go ahead and put screws in, and it'll be done. I won't have to shim anything, and I won't have to worry about it. It'll all be straight, and it will all be straight and lined up properly. So I'm going to use polyurethane construction adhesive. I'm going to get some in the hole in the countersink that I have here for the flange, and I'm going to get some on the flange. Now, I clean the flanges with paint thinner to get all the grease and oil that might be on here off, and I'm going to put a pretty heavy bead on here, because what I want to do is bridge the gaps. So that's on there, and then I'm going to put some inside here, inside the hole, just to make sure I got good coverage. And I'll just get it in position. Pull this ahead a bit and line it up on my mark here, and then just push the flange in. The front jaw should be square to the table, because this is a square cut down here, so that should be good. Also, this should be square to the back now, because I'm straight on the front and I'm on that line. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other one. And then all I got to do is let it set overnight.